Hi everyone, my name is Mary Jo. It's been a little bit since I've done one of these 3 themes kind of card, rune, or whatever pull and reading, but right now it feels, at least to me, like the energy is a bit like ka-choo, ka-choo. And I've been feeling off balance, and I've been wondering what would be helpful for me to know about what's going on or to support me and others during this time. So this is a card reading, and I've titled it Remembering Our Sacred Connections. Seems to break down into 3 areas of remembering what is sacred in us and around us and our connection to that. So let me go ahead and just kick off. So I always like to just start by going through the cards or whatever it is that I'm using in the materials. So up at the top is a Listen for Joy card, and that's out of this deck, the Listen for Joy art card out of Melanie Widener. And then there are 3 sacred geometry cards. These are them in the back here. And this is from the sacred geometry for the visionary path. So there's also several others, and this one is sometimes referred to as the Red Book by Francine Hart. And then I've got the here, which is the cards from the Healers of the Oracle deck, and it doesn't have anything really fancy, just to show you what it's from. These cards here are from the Territorial deck, which is called a tarot training deck, but it is also described as being a great deck for tarot for those who have different versions of neurodivergence. And so really kind of a handy, interesting deck in that way. And then the runes that are here are from Rock Cloud. They are black obsidian. So I will go ahead and kick this part off. These are the 3 themes. And then this card, sometimes I'll choose 1 or 2 cards or a card or a crystal or a variety of things to ask, okay, what is the energy that's holding this reading together? What is it that we should look at to help interpret kind of everything we look at within this, in the eyes or the view of this card? So this is sort of how the whole thing lays out when you look at it this way. So we've got our 3 themes. We've got sort of what's holding the container of this reading. And just to show you that several of the cards are reversed. All of the sacred geometry cards are reversed. I found that interesting. And then there's just one other card that's reversed within this. So we're going to just start with theme 1. Actually, we're not. We're going to start with what's holding the container together. So this card is called Deep Breath. And I think you can see there's this person sitting there, kind of just looking over a very peaceful scene. And behind this person is a much larger being, a much larger sense of wisdom and presence that is also breathing with us, which is also bringing that wisdom for us to share, for us to connect to. And it reminds us that we have a sacred connection. Whatever your definition of sacred connection is, we all have some sacred connections. And we belong to something bigger than ourselves, whether it's the belonging to all of humanity or belonging to this world that we're on or belonging to the universe or something even beyond that. So what is it? And we are connected beyond that. All of these meanings are that we have support. We have a long history, individually and collectively, with higher wisdom, with higher consciousness, with guides and helpers that are here to help support us on our journeys and path. And so this kind of sacred connection is what, to me, helps set the tone for the rest of these cards. And now we'll go to the first theme. So this theme, I titled our sacred connection to our elemental connections. And the first card is called Elemental Embrace, and this is a sacred geometry card. And you can see fire and wind and stars and waves and earth, all of the things that we are connected to elementally, in addition to the elemental beings on our planet and the elemental ways of being on this planet. One of the things my guides like to tell me and others is that all of us, every part of us, except for our soul and our spirit, are from this planet. Like, we are comprised of this planet. The minerals in us are from the planet. The water that's in our veins and in our cells is from our planet. The air that we breathe is produced by our planet. So we are really made up of a very elemental infrastructure. When this card is reversed, it would suggest that we are somehow separated, or thinking that we're separated from that we can exist without those deep foundations, without those roots, without those connections. The middle card from the Healers of the Earth Oracle deck is Miracle. It can be about healing or answered prayers, but it can also have a very, very important context, which is there can be a different ending to the story. And so sometimes we get stuck, or at least Mary Jo sometimes gets stuck in thinking, like, because it looks like this and it happened before, I think it's going to look like this. And we can have assumptions and expectations. And this card is inviting us to think there could be a different ending to the story. We have choices and options within this. And the third card from the tarot deck talks about manifestation and newness and new beginnings, and what would we like to have that would be of something that could be a rebirth, or something that could be new within us or new within our world. But importantly, this card also says you can't just look to the new. You planted before, you've grown crops, you've created things. You have to harvest that and bring it forward. So it's about not forgetting some of our roots and some of the things that we've already done that have led to this point, and continue to build upon those and support us in this way. This rune here is called Iwaz, and it literally stands for the yew tree, and it has a strong premise of the fact that yews are trees that are fairly sturdy, but they also are fairly flexible. They know when to bend, and they know when to really kind of hold their space. There's a lot of storms going on in our world right now, physically, energetically, politically, culturally. I mean, it could go down the list. There's a lot of storms going on in this world. And we need to have our strength within that, but there are times when we need to know that we can be like the yew tree, and sometimes we need to bend. Sometimes we need to take and hold that space. And that we have a wisdom that is supporting us, a wisdom that is in every cell of our body, every molecule in our body, because our earth has wisdom. And so we have wisdom that we can tap into, that can support us, these elemental connections. So we have a sacred elemental connection that is here and inviting us to remember it, back to that first card where we could feel separated or be separated. And so it's saying, like, hey, don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you came from or the work that you've already done. You do get to help rewrite or write the ending of the story. But we need to be rooted. We need to be connected. And we also have to build on what we've already grown within ourselves. So with that, I'm going to move to the second theme. And this theme is our sacred connection to self. I don't think I have done one of these in the last several years that has not included some component of, don't forget to go inwards. You need to look at yourself. You need to take care of yourself. And here it is again. So our sacred connection to ourself. The sacred geometry card is called Trinity, and that is being part of a family, can be of a family unit, but it can also be of our family of humanity. When it's reversed, it also means that we are either separated or we feel separated. So very much just like the first theme, and that's separation. So we're separated and we feel separated. Maybe we feel abandoned. Maybe we feel cut off. Maybe we feel that we've self-isolated, but we feel separated from others, from our connections, and even from, I think, ourselves. The second card is the Wounded Healer. I would suspect that most people listening to something like this are healers in some way. You are healers in a formal way in what you do for your job, or you are healers in just simply the way that you're able to interact with people and help them. You're healers, helpers, encouragers, supporters. That's who you are. That's who we are. My guess is there's also a good number of wounded healers in our group. And the wounded healer becomes a wounded healer because they walked through something. They walked through the wounds and the traumas in their life far enough so that they can turn around and help others to heal as well. So there's some wisdom and understanding and knowledge that comes from walking through that and then being able to turn around and now, oh, like, yeah, I know how to help people with that. Like, these are some of the things to know. What I did might not work for you, but here's definitely some of the things to know. And here's some resources that might help you. And for some, it's even much more formal than that, very specifically helping people walk through things. When this is reversed, it means that the person who needs support is looking you in the eye, right? When you look in the mirror, boom, that's the person who needs some support. It's us. It's me, it's you. It's those of us who think of ourselves as wounded healers or helpers in various ways. And so this card is inviting us that we probably need to take care of ourselves in some way. The Four of Swords has some ideas. It talks about relaxation, meditation, being contemplative or reflective. What is it that can help you come more back into yourself, into your own energy, and find that hope and peace and joy within you? What's really important about this card is it's not just saying self-care as an end to itself. It's not saying, yeah, the goal is self-care. It's saying, and very much linked to the wounded healer, it's saying that the goal of this self-care is so that you can go back out for your purpose. And so self-care is not an option. Self-care is not something that you can negotiate away. It's not something that you can just let slide and expect that you're still going to be able to walk your purpose. Maybe you could at one point in your life, at one point in the energy of our world. That is not true right now. You can't. You literally cannot do it. I see people left and right burning out in various ways and various stages. And all of us are getting impacted, which is some of the intensity that is going around. So it's not negotiable. But it's not just not negotiable for yourself. It's not negotiable if you want to complete your purpose. Why are you here? And that leads to the rune. That's Burkhard, which literally means birch, like the birch tree. But it stands for new life. The birch trees are some of the earliest ones out in the spring. It is a reminder to us that we can be reborn. We have inner growth, and we can reemerge in new and different ways. And so taken together, these really represented to me our sacred connection to ourselves. How do we honor that and take care of ourselves? And the third theme seemed to be our sacred connection to, if you want to say, humanity, or to oneness, or to interconnection, but to things beyond us. So the first card is Earth Prayers, and it's very much about stewardship of the earth. You can see all the hands kind of holding the earth. But it also feels like all of these hands are interconnected, and it's within the stars and within, feels like bigger than just our planet. How do we be connected with and steward this world, and not just the planet, but the world that includes us and that includes every other being on here, and our souls and our purposes, and all of these things coming together? When it's reversed, it means we are fairly apathetic. Like we're just in a space where we're finding it hard to care. We might be burned out. We might have not been thinking with any kind of like foresight. Maybe we just like to like not pay attention to the things around us and just pretend everything's okay and just move on. And it's not working so well. It's not working so well for us. The middle card, Black Swan, suggests that we are going to have something that's going to shake us up and wake us up. We probably won't see it coming so easily, but it does ask us to be alert for what is happening, to trust into our intuition, to pay attention, because there are things that are shaking up, breaking up, left and right all around us. And that is going to shake us up and break us up out of that apathy, that sense of, yeah, maybe that can be, somebody else can take care of that. Somebody else can pay attention to that, and I will try to distract myself or just go back in and hide. This is a little bit different than the last theme, which asks us to take care of ourselves, go inside to take care of ourselves so that we could come back out. This says, you can't just stay inside. You can't just isolate. You can't just pretend like you're not part of something else in this world. The Ace of Cups talks about things like coming together, a marriage or a melding. It asks us to really find our feelings, to find our connections, to trust our intuition. It doesn't always mean that there's something new that has to come in, but it is a fresh start, if that makes sense. It is about that we can, right where we are, with who we are, with where we are in the world, all of those things come together, we can still have a fresh start. And it's not dependent on like tossing our life away and starting everything all anew. So that's a key part of this card, but it's also a cup, the Ace of Cups. And with a cup, like all the fluid in the world in that cup isn't going to do me a bit of good unless I drink it. And this cup invites us to drink from what is happening around us, not just so that we are here to look at all the gunk that's going on. Mm-mm. To help to build towards the future, to help to build toward these collective and interconnective ways of being in our world. The rune is Ingwaz, and this can have a lot to do with like uh, our achievement and how much we're able to overcome or make happen in our world. But it also has strong components within it of looking for unity, looking for equanimity, and how we bring those into what we do. So putting these together, it really felt to me again like a sacred connection to our humanity or to our collective. It does feel like there's going to be some shakeup to our apathy. But our goal here does not feel like we are to look back. Our goal does not feel like we are here to just, like I said, like look at the gunk or live in the gunk. Our goal is to go through so that we can build towards the future, because we're all here to help create something. We're ushering in something new. So what are we here for? What are you here for? My guides like to talk sometimes about deconstruction and reconstruction. So deconstruction, taking all the stuff down. But then there's the reconstruction. Deconstruction actually, well, it's painful. It's not that hard. I mean, you can blow things up, you can crash them down, you can just take them down. Deconstruction, maybe it's not hard. It's straightforward, okay? Sometimes it is hard. But reconstruction, building something new, means we need to be able to look to the future and invite what is coming in into the now so we can help build it, create it, or express it. Which means we have to kind of go through some of this stuff. The other day, Chardon said, well, the way through is through. Man, surely there's another way to go through, right? No, the way through is through. So here's the overlay of this again. Our sacred elemental connection, our sacred connection to ourself, and our sacred connection to humanity or the collective. And a really big reminder that we are supported in this. There is this sacred wisdom which is here, holding the container of our world, holding the space for us as we navigate all of this. We're not alone. We've got lots of support if we choose to pull on it, if we choose to reach out for it, if we choose to listen. We are in a space sometimes where we can feel quite alone, like we're the victim, or we've been abandoned, or we have to be a martyr and all of this. And I don't think that's true. I don't think we're here to be any of those things. I think sometimes it's going to be some hard slogging, but when I can listen into my heart, it really feels like we came here to be here at this time to help create and usher in what we want to see in the future. So allowing ourselves to become that, it's sometimes far less about what we do and much more about who and how we become. There's doing within that, but the doing comes as a natural extension of who we are versus forcing ourselves to do something because, well, that seems like the right thing. Everybody else is doing it. Seems like I should be disciplined and just get with that. Instead of listening in, what is it that's mine to do? What is it that's my part in this world? So thank you. I wish you well in some of this energy that seems to be kachung. And remember that you are always connected and you always have support. And we just simply need to, at times, reach out and remember that we have all of these sacred connections. Take care.